It's like caging crabs, really. They're slow and easily tricked. You just have to keep your hands clear of the dangerous parts. Yeah, it's like crabs. Only they've consumed your entire family, and now they want to eat you. Heck, some of them were your family. They're like crabs if crustaceans wandered the countryside searching for food. Oh, and they're dead. Dead crabs wandering the land, tearing the flesh of the living, and never being satisfied. They move continuously, so I like to wrangle them with nets and poles. I drag them back to the van and take them to the ranch, which really isn't a ranch at all. But hey, nothing is what it was anymore. The ranch is the surviving house at the top of the hill. I've taken to calling the garage my barn. I dump my catch in the barn until I'm ready to finish them off. Those I didn't kill while collecting, that is. Yeah, just like crabs, only they're dead. They were people. Teachers, doctors, fuel attendants, baggers from the grocery store, mail carriers, prostitutes, scientists, and police. Everywhere you go, it's like the zombie edition of Career Day. You can be anything you dream, the poster would read, just so long as it's dead. I live in Cheney, Washington. Yeah, like the vice president that shot the guy on the quail hunt in Texas, only not so conservative. It's a small town just south of Spokane. When the virus began to spread, I thought our town had a few things going for it. First, we are all really close to Fairchild Air Force Base. Lots of protection, right? Secondly, with the exception of Spokane, there are no large population centers. Less people mean fewer zombies. Lastly, Cheney has Turnbull, the wildlife refuge just south of it. That's 16,000 acres of uninhabited wilderness that someone could retreat to if the worst comes to worst. Well, that was the plan anyway. Most believe the outbreak began in the southeast. It hit fast and crawled across the states with disgustingly efficient results. Tourist hubs were hit the hardest, it being early summer and all. In full swing, millions of zombies were pouring out of the cities. But it all started with just a random bite being reported here and there. We had a bit of a warning being in the furthest corner of the nation from the incidents, but most people thought it was just a bunch of random sickos. There were reports of people attacking and biting others, even consuming them right in the street. Disgusting stuff. But at least that was happening in Florida and not in the Northwest, right? Even without the reports of the dead rising back to life, many were declaring this a zombie outbreak. They were right, of course, but who would believe them? Would you have? I mean, really? They were fat white guys with beards and Batman t-shirts. You know, the kind that hang out at the comic book convention and debate whether one superhero universe could defeat the cast of some modern fighting game. They've had a longer relationship with a particular brand of yellow soda than they've ever had with humans to whom they have attracted. So when the geeks started blaring about zombies, it actually created the opposite of concern. Everyone laughed at how ridiculous their suggestion was and went on with their normal lives. This was a mistake that cost millions their very lives. and the rest, just like Cheney, was decimated. The 10,000 residents there reduced to about 50. So why did none of the location advantages make any difference? Well, shortly after the reports of the outbreak, the base was emptied, like overnight. We heard an evening's worth of engine noise from the airfield. The next day, ghost town, baby. They probably didn't even lock the gate behind them. Where did they go? Who the hell knows? Most likely they're all dead by now anyway. Our isolation from the major population centers? Ha! The virus ran right up I-90 and into our freaking lives so fast we were caught in the crapper, if you know what I mean. Spokane lit up like a zombie inferno, and then nowhere within 100 miles was safe. What happened at the wildlife refuge? Well, apparently my ideas aren't as clever as I thought. Thousands fled to the refuge and camping rigs stopped with survival gear. One man can hide in an area that large without a hitch. When you try to use the land as a Noah's Zombies Ark, all you really do is stock them with a well-stocked hunting ground for the Earth's undead. One zombie shuffled in unseen and thousands came shuffling out. Many are still wandering around in the sage and trees looking for any leftovers. In the cities, it was block after block, neighborhood after neighborhood, until the entire population was either dead, reanimated, or in hiding. Waves of the staggering dead could be seen flowing through the streets like water through canals. But why? Why were the zombies so effective? My best guess as to why people became infected so often is that they thought the zombie population was supposed to look ridiculously comical. We had all seen the movie Zombies with half an arm, blood spattered across the face, and a gaping mouth spewed with a long moan, dragging one foot while reaching menacingly with its one good hand. Gray skin, torn clothes, white eyes, and bad hair. Reality lets us down so often. Actual zombies look almost like us. They wear normal clothes. Their skin is pale but not noticeably. They still have a pulse, so they don't deteriorate as fast as Hollywood would make us think they do. We use the term dead to describe zombies, but a more accurate statement would be that they are brain dead. The virus attacks the mind and orders the consumption of living things to keep them alive. Poor nutrition makes most of them weak and slow, since the virus clearly does not think fruits and vegetables are important for survival. They recognize nothing from their old lies, and will eat their own child as they would a neighbor's dog. They talk, although very poorly. I suppose speech isn't all that necessary for a zombie. They don't stagger like in the movies either. Instead, it's kind of a fancy stumble. Zombies walk around like clowns pretending to be drunk when they haven't been fed, but they have a nearly normal gait when they aren't hungry, walking around like anyone or anything else. Well-fed zombies will walk right by you and not even blink. Yet by all appearances, the modern zombie has two settings: totally chill and dying of hunger. Moreover, there is no ceremony separating the two conditions. They will ignore you or tear your house down to kill and eat you. It's all the luck of the draw, I guess. So most folks didn't fight the zombies. They let them into elevators. They held doors open for them. People unknowingly invited zombies over for dinner. They shared cabs with them. People waited in line for the bathroom with them. And the zombies ate them one by one in crazy random acts of disturbed violence, it was called. Zombies attacked and often consumed people in waiting rooms, hotels, malls, bars, and super hip sidewalk bistros. One minute the odd guy was standing next to you as you were waiting at the DMV. The next minute he had attacked the lady right behind you, and he was eating her leg while she screamed for her life. You get all noble and shit and try to pull the nut job off of her. He turns and then he bites you. Pow! Welcome to the zombie family. You may not be officially dead, but in the eyes of the world you are now a crazed cannibalistic maniac who doesn't recognize right from wrong and will unashamedly consume babies who are still buckled into their strollers. And that's close enough to dead for all of us. Before they knew it, the city was overrun. Now the real question, why didn't the people just kill them? Once the world figured out the real situation, why didn't people just shoot and be done with it? Great question. You are also most likely pointing out that a good shot to the brain and it's all over. Break out the champagne and toast your brilliant survival strategy, right? That would be nice if only it were true. Really, guys, I would wager that movies did more to encourage a rabid outbreak than any other factor out there. First of all, most victims did try to shoot the zombie in the head. But have you ever tried to shoot something like that? A moving target is hard enough, but a living target in the head while panicking is harder than the films make it appear to be. Also remember, their brains now are inactive gobs of gray and white matter. So a person would waste half of their ammunition trying to shoot the zombie in the brain, missing most of the time. When they did hit it in the head, it didn't affect anything, and the zombie would soon be on them. It's like cutting an earthworm in half. Messy, but it doesn't kill it. Blood flows slowly for the creature as well. When zombies are injured, the wound seeps a jelly that stops the little flow of blood that there might have been. The only real way to stop a zombie is to destroy it. Though, as I mentioned earlier, most have never tried to kill them. They just open their door and let the zombie eat them. It's been 18 months now. Here in Cheney, those few who are surviving are doing so by staying and hiding. Humans have become the prey. They're like mice in a field. They're like cockroaches in the walls, like hares in the desert. But not me. It's like caging crabs, really. I have made it my job to collect and exterminate as many zombies as I can catch. At first it was a noble effort to eradicate the threat and help civilization return to its previous wonder. That was for the first couple of months. That was before I was bit. That was before they took the ring and pinky fingers from my left hand. That was before I despaired of becoming one of them. That was before I tried to kill myself. That was before the doctor found me drenching myself in fuel. That was before she discovered that I was immune, that she told me her theory. The doctor believed that I carried the Z gene, that I was born with the virus, and I could spread it to others. But it would only be dormant in my system. If I got bit by a zombie, it would hurt like hell, but it wouldn't be any different than being bit by a non-infected human. She told me that blood like mine was the cause of the outbreak. It could also be the answer to a cure. Then she performed tests on my blood. She found out she wasn't immune. Then the woman who stopped me from killing myself became the thing I had grown to hate the most. And I killed her long before I burned her. Now I exterminate them as a way to find peace, to silence the little voice in my head, the one that tells me that the outbreak is my fault. The voice that tells me no matter what I do, I can